What's going on, motivators? In today's video, I'm going to share with you who exactly can be on a VA loan. But before I go into it, I'm Justin Chermak, your VA loan advisor, also a vet myself. It's my job to teach you all about using your VA loan. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So who exactly can be on a VA loan? Well, it's actually a really easy answer. And then there's also a kind of more drawn out answer I'm going to give you towards the end of this video. So make sure you stay to the very end. In a nutshell, the people who can be on a VA loan are just a veteran and another veteran, or a veteran and their spouse. Now, you can have a veteran, and another veteran. You can have a multitude of veterans, but you can't have anyone else on the mortgage. You see, you can't have a veteran and their mom, or a veteran and their fiance, or a veteran and their sister, or a veteran and their buddy from high school, or a veteran and their dog. You can't do any of those. The VA is very strict about this. They say it can only be a veteran and a veteran's spouse, or another veteran. Now, if you are a veteran who has a fiance or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, well, you could always do the courthouse marriage. I make a joke about that, but that's actually a real scenario I've had plenty of clients do. I'm not telling you to do that, but if you don't want to do that, this is the way you can kind of circumvent all of that. And this is the way how you can have a veteran on your mortgage with a non-veteran. It's something called a joint loan. Now, joint loans are great, but they come with a bit of a caveat. Since you are not a veteran with another veteran or a spouse, well, the VA isn't going to guarantee that other individual, okay? It could be your cousin or your friend or anyone you want, but this is what they're going to add onto your mortgage. But before I get into it, it's important you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about the VA guarantee. Now, in a nutshell, the VA guarantees any lender 25% of the total value of the property in the event that you go into default or some kind of foreclosure status, or you can't afford to make your payments, or they have to come in and repossess the house. The VA basically says that if you foreclose upon this $400,000 property, they're going to give $100,000 to that lending institution. That covers the 25% VA guarantee, and this is in place of putting a down payment. This is what allows you to put 0% down. But here's what the VA says. If you are a veteran and a non-veteran doing something called a joint loan, well, they're only going to guarantee the veteran. So yes, very simple math, you guessed it. Basically, they're only going to guarantee 12.5% instead of that full 25%. But here's where the math gets even more confusing. Now, I don't want to trick you out too much, but basically it comes down to the fact when you subtract out the down payment, you add the down payment back in, a couple of other different factors, it doesn't exactly add up to be 12.5%. Actually, you're going to have to make a and I know this is a random number, it's going to be a 14.3% down payment, or something called loan to value. So if you're buying a house with a veteran and a non-veteran, you can use your VA loan, but you're going to have to put down at least 14.3% of the value. And if you're refinancing, you're going to have to make sure that you have at least 14.3% equity position in the property. Now you might ask, okay, well, that's great and all, but why would I ever want to refinance into a VA loan? Well, here's a scenario for you. I had this scenario pop up where I had someone who was in an FHA loan. They were paying mortgage insurance, which is an added monthly payment, and their rate was higher than what they would get with a VA loan. But these people were not married yet, okay? They were just engaged. So what they ended up doing was they ended up doing a VA refinance. They added the veteran onto the mortgage. So it was the fiance, she owned the property. The veteran came in, added himself onto the mortgage as a VA loan. They removed the MI. They got a lower interest rate. Everything was peachy keen. The only reason they were able to do that, however, is because they had about 25% of the equity in the house already paid down. So they were able to do this refinance, and it actually saved them a tremendous amount of money. So they did this thing that was called a joint loan, and this is the only way that you can get around that veteran and non-veteran policy, is basically doing a joint loan. So if you're buying a house, maybe it's not as advantageous as you think because you're putting down 14.3%, but you still get to use your VA loan. There's a tremendous amount of benefits with that because you could always refinance into something called a VA IRRRL later on. But that's something I'm going to touch upon in a later video. So stay tuned for my VA IRRRL. That's IRRR L. 3 R's. I know, it's ridiculous. The VA with their acronyms, the military with their acronyms. What are you going to do about it, right? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this clears up some questions for you. Again, my name is Justin Chermak. I'm your VA loan advisor, and all I do is teach you all about using your VA loan. Let's go, motivator.